Hey everyone, this is Avinash back with another video. In this video, let's discuss about prompt format. We discussed why prompts are important. We discussed what is prompt engineering. Now, whenever you go to this large language models, there is a certain way language, right? Whenever you want to write a sentence, you need to follow certain rules in that particular language, certain formats to get the best meaning out of it, or else you'll just feel you'll just speak bad language. It can be Spanish, it can be French, it can be English, right? So just like that, in this language also we have certain formats we need to follow. But the thing is, the format is different for expert to expert. Although I don't call myself like an expert or something, but still, I tried hundreds of them, consulted dozens of prompt engineers myself to understand their prompting techniques, and then take the best format from them, and understood, and then experimented this for almost 1.5 years before giving it to you all. So this works wonders for me, my clients and my students, and I'm going to share that. I hope you should be super excited for this. Number one. Number two, one disclaimer I wanted to give is this particular video is one of the most important videos of all the series in this entire series. So play the close attention for the next 30 minutes. Don't go for a coffee break. Don't go for anything. Grab coffee, grab some snacks, switch your door off, and just start only when you have 30 minutes of your time. Just 30 minutes, no distractions whatsoever. Very important, because you're not going to understand it perfectly when you skip any part of it, or you're not going to understand if you complete 15 minutes, go out and come again watch it. It will not be making sense. So very important. Might feel little complex also, but try and watch it second time if you felt little complex for the first time, and it's completely normal, because I'm sharing something that took myself 1.5 years to understand. I'm sharing it in a way that you could understand in this 30 minutes journey. So it needs a lot of practice. Practicing these prompts are not that easy. Like writing these prompts are not easy. So the format we are going to have is called mega prompt format. What is it? Mega prompt format. When you go to any large language model, and when you write a small prompt, it is just a zero-shot prompting with no context whatsoever. But when you are a writer who can write mega prompts, you could use 100% ability of that large language model. So a format in our webinar, if you attended our webinar, as discussed, it would have 5 main components, which consists of task, instruction, context, parameter, and input. Inside these components, we might have 3 to 4 elements each, and you need to understand that. Don't worry, I'm here. We have 5 main components. These are think of it as headings, and we have more subheadings in this. So task is nothing but what is that one thing that you want that AI model or large language model to do. That's a task. Number 1. Inside the task, we have 3 primary elements. Number 1 is role, topic, and command. Let's understand what is role, topic, command in the next slides. So task is a component, and inside that component we'll have 3 different elements, and each one, let's understand the role. This element outlines the specific function that AI should assume in its response. Do you want it to talk like a lawyer? You're writing a law paper or some research paper or something related to law. Giving the role of a lawyer, like adding this line to start your whole task. Imagine or think yourself as a 20 years experienced Supreme Court lawyer in India, and give the topic and the task. So this word can give you the maximum benefits, because this helps to set the tone and approach of AI's response. That's the role. And the topic is the second one. This element focuses on the subject matter that AI should address, which can range from the history to technology, art, or any of other theme. By specifying the topic, the AI can tailor its response to the user's interest or query. Just give it a topic. What is the topic that you want to take? As simple as that. I'll give you examples, guys, don't worry, for everything. For each component, I'll give you, whenever we have elements, once we complete all the elements in the particular component, which is right now. We'll go to the examples. Command. This element highlights the specific action the AI should perform or the output it should generate, such as summarizing, explaining, or comparing anything. This directs AI response to meet the user's requirements more effectively. Let's get out of this presentation and go there. So you remember this? We have components, which is task. Inside this components category, inside this tasks category, we have role, topic, and command. Example prompt. This is the whole prompt. There's only one prompt, guys, and I divided my big mega prompt to suit and fit into this each element. You must act as a world-renowned CEO like Sundar Pichai. That is the role. In webinar, I just said, I didn't specify the elements. I just said the components because you might be overwhelmed. Since you completed the webinar and graduated from the webinar on masterclass, we're going to the advanced topic right now. The role is you must act as a renowned CEO like Sundar Pichai. You must act as 20-year-old experienced data architect to solve the below's problem, and then you write the code. The topic is, what are the some ways to survive when the company's runway is coming to an end? That's the topic. I want you to give me 5 main points on each of the following topics. Then I want you to write on each point. I want you to write on each point. So that's the command. Understood? Task is like giving what you want in a certain way so that it will be easier for a LLM to understand what you want very easily, right? Let's go to the next one. That one thing is done. The second component of our mega prompt is instructions. The instructions or a component offers guidance on AI's approach to the task. Like, how do you want AI to perform that particular task? Like how? That is instructions. The instruction component contains 4 primary elements: structure, qualities of the output, content, and 2 do's and don'ts. That's it. Structure is like this element sets the desired layout or organization of AI's response, such as bullet points, paragraphs, or number lists. Defining the format helps the AI present information in a clear and easily digestible manner. Understood? So what is that exact structure you need? If you don't give the exact structure you need, you might have it in your brain, but you don't put it on the paper or in the prompt. You might be expecting bullet points, but AI will give you a paragraph, which will be a contradiction. So effectively, you see, this is how good you're communicating. Exactly what you need, communicating and putting it in a format. We still didn't go to the next part. We're just in the formatting part. We're not, basically formatting is like half of the communication skills. Like you have the perfect communication format, 50% of your communication part is done, and then the other 50% is about basic English. That's it, not like very high-end English. And then we'll go to prompting techniques, and then we'll go to AI tools to complete our whole prompt engineering journey. Yeah, coming back, this element sets the desired layout. That's the structure, and then qualities of the output. This element emphasizes the characteristics of the response that it should exhibit, like being a concise, detailed, or engaging. By focusing on these qualities, the AI can generate a response that meets the user's stylistic preferences. Like, you are a book writer, like you might have a very high-end vocabulary like Shashi Tharoor. Giving that, hey, write this whole thing like a Shashi Tharoor's vocabulary, use fancy vocabulary, all that. Giving this qualities. Don't worry, I'll give you the example prompt for this also. Content. Ideas or points to be included. This element lists the key points or concepts that AI should incorporate in its response. This ensures that the AI addresses the most relevant information and stays on topic. Fourth one is do's and don'ts. These elements provide the guidance on what to do and what not to do to get the best output while performing this whole task. That's it. So before going to that, let's go to the format table. Output format structure. Please format your response. Remember this, right? We are writing basically a article or a post about what are the some ways to survive when the company's runway is coming to an end. That's the topic. You saw the command. Now instruction component, format structure, a format or structure. we're talking about structure. Please format your response in a structured manner with a brief introduction and separate paragraph for each of the 5 main points. So we're now giving an idea for ChatGPT to write in a structured, organized way, and we're even giving that structure. Qualities of the output. Ensure the content is clear, concise, and actionable. I don't want some random, I don't want some random things that are unactionable. I want actionable. I don't want poetry. I don't want motivation. What can you do? I don't want anything that is abstract. I want actionable. That is the quality. And we're now saying qualities of output. Include real life examples or case studies to illustrate your point. That's the ideas or points to be included. Do's and don'ts. Avoid using jargons that may be difficult for general audience to understand. Sometimes you could give more do's and no don'ts, and sometimes you give more don'ts. It's depending upon your requirement. That's it. So let's go understand the next component. We have 5 of them and we're only done with the 2. The third one is context. Context component sets the stage for AI's response by providing a background information and the situational context. Like, you gave what to do, you gave how to do, you need to do the why. Like, why AI is even writing about it. The context components again contains 3 primary elements: perspective, goal, and the target audience. Like, what's the perspective, what's the goal of this whole thing, and what are the target audience that content is being written. And by the way, guys, one important thing, this is the same format for almost all the entrepreneurs. You might be a content writer, you might be a technical developer, you might be anything. This video is the same format for every single one. And I'll also say you why you need to use and all that. Just stay till the very end. Don't give up. I know it's so much of information, might be complex, but if you're giving up, you'll never be a prompt engineer. And when you can't be a prompt engineer, all the goals you have in your mind, the very reason why you enroll into this particular membership might not be achieved. So finishing this course is the first step of becoming a prompt engineer. Trust me when I say this, just watch once, and when you watch it twice, you will kill it. By the way, anyways, let's get to the next one. So context. Context is perspective, right? As a renowned CEO, adopt confident and authoritative perspective in your response. That's perspective. Your goal. Your goal is to provide practical and insightful advice to help struggling companies navigate challenging financial situations. That's your goal. Or your target audience. Consider your target audience to be business owners and entrepreneurs who may be facing financial difficulties. That's it. We discussed almost 9 elements already. And now we're going into the 4th component. Component and element, right? Both are different. Component is like a category and element is the subcategory that you need to fill in, right? You just understand this. This is the component and these are the elements. All the elements will be in the sum component category. Let's go. Context is done. By the way, perspective, I didn't explain this, but perspective you understood, right? Perspective shapes the AI's response and makes it more relevant to the user's intention. Goal is like, by clarifying the goal, AI can be better tailor its response to achieve the desired effect. And target audience, who are the target audience? As simple as that. Who is that it writing to? Parameters. Parameter component sets boundaries or limitations for AI to consider while crafting its response. The parameter components again contains 3 primary elements: word count, time frame, and resources. I got you. Word count. By setting these limits, the AI can create the response that it is neither too brief nor too lengthy for user's needs or your specific need. That's like the word count, response length. You can give it in the word or you can give it in the lines. Time frame. This element highlights any constraints such as deadlines for the task or specific historical period to focus on. Like when you're writing about the World War, something happening during the World War, you might just say that, hey, concentrate of this particular thing during the World War. The adoption of fashion during the World War. Very lame example, but just giving you a perspective. This helps AI to prioritize its response and concentrate on the most relevant time-related factors. Parameters. Resources or references, right? This element suggests the sources that AI should consult or cite in its response to ensure accuracy and credibility. Providing the reputable resources can enhance the quality of AI's response and support the information it presents, because whenever it is referring to the quality output and that quality output is being bonded with the knowledge it already has, it is expected that you will get the best output possible, right? So now the context is done. The fourth one is parameters. Word count. Your response should not exceed 500 words. That's the word count. Focus on the most crucial strategies and tactics that can be implemented within a short period to maximize the chances of survival. Time frame. If possible, include references to the reputable sources or experts that should support your recommendations. So you could take these resources or references in a two category, right? You could give the reference or take the reference. Whenever in the parameters, you're not giving any kind of references, you will give it in the later stage. But in parameters, you are asking AI to refer to some well-known people, well-known sources, so that AI now has a task to actually go find the references of reputable sources instead of just doing a normal search in their database. So we are adding a task in an organized way so that it will feel, man, this guy's expectation is like a lot. We need to give the best out of to him. So consider the following okay, next. That's like done with the parameters. Last and the final one, guys. Stick in there. 5 more minutes. Input. The input component equips the AI with the relevant data or information to incorporate its response. The input component contains 3 primary elements again: facts or figures, examples, quotes or testimonials. That's it. Facts or figures, this element provides statistical data, facts or numerical information, the AI should include or base its response on. By incorporating this data, the AI could create a more factual and informative response that supports the user's needs. So whenever you feel AI might not be factual about this particular thing, give the facts yourself. Instead of writing an entire article yourself, the entire output yourself, give the fact. Give it. That's it. Examples or case studies. This element offers a specific instances, stories or examples that illustrate the topic or support the AI's response. Including these examples can make the response more engaging, relatable and informative for the user. Give either, that's it, quotations or testimonials. This element shares the direct quotes or opinions from authoritative sources, experts or individuals that can reinforce the responsible credibility. It's just testimonials or quotations by higher authorities. Yeah, let's go complete the format table, by the way. Facts. Consider the following statistics according to, so basically what we're doing is, you're giving the facts yourself, you're giving the facts yourself. You're giving the case studies or examples yourself. Here, you're saying according to the study done by CB Insights, 90% of the startups fail due to running out of cash. Including this fact will give you the best response. Like it can, like ChatGPT can, or any large language model can structure its whole content depending upon this. Examples or case studies. Tesla in its early days faced a near collapse just during financial crisis of 2018, but managed to secure a last minute investment from Elon Musk. We're giving the example that. Quotations or testimonials. A quote from Ben Horace, blah, blah, blah. So you understood, right? Quotations, testimonials and stuff like that. Input is a component where you are actually giving input from your end so that AI will take these inputs as a reference and build on top of it. That's it. Pretty much. Let's now understand and kind of see the power of this particular prompt. I'll open ChatGPT right now. Just a second, guys. Let's go. I'm using ChatGPT 4. You could use the ChatGPT 3 also, by the way. Images are done. You could just literally share image and then get out of it. Recently introduced. Copying this part of this whole thing. Like we just made an example prompt, just copy pasted each one of them into a single paragraph. And then this is the whole. Okay, wait. So now is where we'll get introduction. Navigating a company through the trenches water of financial instability demands acute strategic foresight and pragmatic approach. Considering that 29% of the startups fail, you see, it included this example in a better way as a hook. Fail due to the cash exhaustion as per CB Insights. Understanding the execution pivotal survival insights becomes blah, 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 blah. Here we'll explore 5 salient strategies. I don't even never heard the word of salient that have in the past proven efficacious for businesses such as Tesla during the 2018 financial crisis. You see, we gave the Tesla financial crisis, it included it in a very organized and cute way. Instead of writing this whole paragraph ourselves, which would take maybe half an hour or 15 minutes, just writing these 2 facts and asking it to weave it in the content is a better way, right? It is now, according to our thing, give the 5 main points and then write on each. It gave us the 5 main points and we're writing on each. Immediate cost constraints. And you see every particular point here will be very actionable. Immediate cost containment. In the dire financial straits, immediate action to stop the physical bleeding is imperative. Oh God, this is like little advanced English for me, but still it's good, right? Like I could literally add this word here, write it in simple and understandable English so that it can be in a better way. Write it in simple and good English. For dummies like me, I need simple English. I can't understand advanced English like Shashi Tharoor. Let's see what it gets, right? At least we got the rigorous cash flow management thing as a management. Intense scrutiny and management of cash flow becoming a pivotal when financial runways curtailed. Implement a stringent budget, cut non-essential expenditure and optimized operational costs. This tactic mirrors Ben Horowitz's emphasis on controlling costs in dire financial scenarios 3. Like, this is the thing. We could just cut it out and then, whatever. Crafting a cash reserve and maintaining a tight rein on receivables can prove to be life-saving, ensuring the cost capital in the directed towards blah, blah, blah. Revitalizing the revenue streams, engaging in strategic partnership or alliances, leveraging the assets and exploring the financial options, communicate transparency with the stakeholders. In conclusion, and then it also gave us few references, and then enacting a meticulous strategy. It's like a conclusion. We asked it to write a conclusion also somewhere here, right? That's it. So, but if we go give a simple prompt, what is there some ways to coming in and way, like everyone do, we might not, because right now the ChatGPT saw our response. Now it can give a good answer. Basically, it's a little difficult, usually for the first time if ChatGPT writes itself. Yeah. So the reason why it is anyway giving us little better results is it already learned about this here and then giving out here. Yeah, right. That's it. Basic, right? Cash flow management, staffing adjustment, hiring fees, salary cuts, layoffs, flexible work arrangement, revenue generation. Kind of basic with no there is no juice in it. Like there are like points, but no juice. But when you see here, we are quoting down few good names here, and we're quoting some case studies, examples, and then even when we're giving something, we're actually getting some answer. This, I would say 50% good, but still, I don't think this is anywhere near this, right? So yeah. And then conclusion, there is no conclusion also here, like literally. Like this can't be an article that a CEO could send. But when your boss asks to write a message like this, as a professional CEO would write, if you go give this to your boss, do you think your boss will be happy with it? Of course not. But this, he will be most happy with you all. Anyways, so let's go back. This is the example, and this is how this is the comparison basically between a good prompt and bad prompt. See, now, guys, good prompts are very important, and good prompts can be only achieved with the kind of comprehensive format we gave. You might be thinking, Avinash, it is easier to actually write this myself than creating this whole prompt. I understand. I agree. But if you're a content writer, right, you could have a prompt format from us and create a basic format like this and do it for 4 or 5 times, despite it usually takes more time to write the format than the content itself, I agree. But when you do it 5th time, 6th time, right, it might consume 25% of your time than the actual to write this prompt than to write this content, because now you're very ease at putting your thoughts in a format so that format can be the best input prompt for the LLM. And the same works for developers, right? Using that prompt format, you will create 1 mega prompt for most of the things. Like 99% of the employees don't do 18 different tasks a month. All they do is, if you are someone who is developing apps, no, you basically have kind of 2 to 3 prompt format mega prompts that you could use for almost all your tasks. If you're a content writer, one format like this, one mega prompt like this will give you as reference for every single article. You just spend your time in creating 1, 2 or 3 mega prompts depending upon your use cases, and you can reap the benefits of this mega prompts forever. And the best part is, I'm sure so many people can't write this kind of advanced article just themselves. They need to do lots and lots of research. Either they need to have the touch with 10-20 years of experience, or they need to research for like a week or like 5 days just to get this 5 main points, which is not the case with here. Like, you're spending maybe half an hour to write this whole prompt. And what is a prompt? It's just clarity of thought, right? If your thought is very good in clarity, you're just putting your thought in a prompt and getting out. That's all. And that is the prompt format. Understand? So yeah, and it should be very, very useful for most of you guys, no matter what career you belong to, developer, an editor, or a web developer, or maybe a content writer or a lawyer or someone. This prompt format should be your Bible. Put it out, print it out put it on your table, and just follow the format, right? So this is an easier way to put your thoughts on your prompt. Usually we have all this, like, this format doesn't give you any info or exact information, the end output. It is giving you a format, and you might know what is the role that might be good for this particular output, but then you might miss it. It might be your checklist, so that sometimes you don't know that this element should be put. So I'm giving an option, you just put your thought out and get the best results. And developers, this is going to be wonderful for you all. And finally, to close this whole thing, this format table will be there, don't worry, in the description below. And one thing I want to close this on before 30 minutes, as I discussed, is this. Yeah. So what happens is, we have like almost, if I'm not wrong, say 15 elements approximately, or 12-15 elements in this particular prompt format. Try to incorporate as many elements as possible in your prompts, right, to get the best output. But not always you need all 12. If you could have 7 to 10 of them, minimum is 7, guys. Like, if you're not even having 7 elements of this, what we mentioned in this particular format out of 12, you will not be reaping the best ability from that particular format, in my opinion. Like, not 100% of the times, maybe 10 to 20, 30% of the times, you might feel, hey man, like with 2 elements or 3 elements, I'm getting the same out of 12. But that might not be consistent. Like, sometimes LLM work and sometimes don't, and you want it to be consistent, right? So having a format table as a reference with 1 or 2 mega prompts, which you'll just edit it for all your tasks, is a better idea to be a professional prompt engineer, to do your own tasks in your own career, right? You could be a prompt engineer and do take prompt engineering in your own career to advance your career, or be a prompt engineer specially. Just be a prompt engineer and then help someone in your anything. It can be image prompt engineering, you help VFX artist or any kind of artist. You can be a text prompt engineer, or someone like who knows you to use ChatGPT. Go write, kind of lead a team of content writers. You can be a content writer, or you can lead a team of content writer with your prompt engineering skills. So no matter what, there are 2 options, by the way, just saying you out. But then, end of the day, this prompt format is like a Bible for you, Quran for you, or Bhagavad Gita for you, or any holy book that you kind of read. But then just try and understand this prompt. And by the way, one actionable thing I want you to do is write a mega prompt for your own industry, for your own use case in your own career, and paste that mega prompt for any certain task in the comment down below. I'm sure not everyone does, but if you do, you'll be on the perfect tone to complete this entire course and be the world-class prompt engineer. And if you want to be a world-class prompt engineer, world-class AI expert, just complete all the to-dos I'm going to say in this videos. That's it for this video, guys. Thanks a lot. See you in the next video. Bye.